MailChimp versus LinkedIn. So I got this question recently because I was talking about LinkedIn newsletters and my newsletter, or a standard newsletter, which is through MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever your email marketing platform is. And someone was asking me which would I recommend, MailChimp or other email marketing platform or a LinkedIn newsletter. Which one is better? And I ended up saying both. It's kind of a lazy answer as in retrospect, just because they do both have their pros and cons, and you can cut and paste from one to the other and not worry about it because you'll have a lot of people who subscribe to one newsletter and not the other. LinkedIn does offer a lot of reach just because it automatically invites people to subscribe to your newsletter as soon as you connect with them. So I got a ton of newsletter subscribers when I started my LinkedIn newsletter right away, just because all of those invitations went out automatically, and it is a little harder to grow something through MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever you're using, just because you have to do it more organically. You don't really have to do it one-to-one. There are ways to, send out mass invitations, but a little more of a so one-to-one. So that being said, if for whatever reason you have to choose one over the other, I would recommend, and again, I use MailChimp, full disclosure. I'm not like being paid to promote MailChimp. It's just when I say MailChimp, you can fill in your email marketing platform of choice, whether it's Constant Contact or whatever it is you use. So I would recommend using one of those email platforms over LinkedIn if it is an either or kind of situation where it's like, look, either I'm going to do a LinkedIn newsletter or I'm going to do this other newsletter. I'm not doing both. That's fair. That's totally fair, especially for people who are running their own businesses and don't have all the time in the world to spend creating content, right? The reason I would recommend something like that, one of those standard email marketing platforms, is because that is the only way to make sure that you own your content, right? Because not only that you own your content, but that you own your list. You do own your list when you use something like MailChimp. Yes, they manage it for you, but you own that list. And if you don't already, you should on a regular basis be downloading that list so that you have all of those email addresses stored somewhere safely on your computer so that if heaven forbid something happens to your MailChimp account, you can recover those emails. LinkedIn, you don't own that. You could end up in LinkedIn jail. Your account can be deleted or suspended with no warning whatsoever, no explanation at all. And yes, there are ways to get around that as far as downloading your contacts, and I also recommend doing that regularly. But you don't own that contact information. You're going to have to jump through a lot more hoops to get that contact information back, and get all those subscribers back. Whereas with something like MailChimp or Constant Contact, it's going to be much easier, just because you can download and automatically have all of those email addresses. And I mean, it's not that unheard of for people to end up in like have their MailChimp account deleted, but it's usually because they violated best practices. It's because they added a bunch of people to their list without asking permission. And if you do that enough and you send enough spam through your email, your MailChimp or something, they're going to catch on and they're going to punish you for it. So don't do that. Whereas LinkedIn is very arbitrary. It makes its own rules. It can do whatever it wants with your account because you don't actually own your account. So again, ideally, LinkedIn, especially if your target audience is on LinkedIn and that's where they're spending time, by all means, spend time on LinkedIn and invest in that newsletter. But if you can only do one, I would recommend doing one that through a standard email marketing platform, just because that is the only way that you own that list and you own all of that information, and that you are putting too much time and effort into growing your audience and creating all this content to just give it away. So that is it. That is my tip for you today. If you have any other questions, please let me know. You can leave a note a comment on the video and I will see it. You can check out my website for more information like this. That is AV, as in my initials, Allison Verhalen. That is avwritingservices.com. And you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great week and happy blogging.